This is the MOBC, my own boxing community. Um, well, what can I say? What can I say? You know, I didn't make a prediction for this fight. And the reason why I didn't make a prediction for this fight, it had nothing to do with Romero. I think Rolly Romero is a good fighter. Um, I do believe that he's talented. Um, but I do believe that his size, I always thought that he was really 140, 147. I mean, he's a welterweight, right? Like, let's be real. He's what's up, Charles D? Salute. He's a welterweight. And when Rolly Romero fought that older guy, not Pitbull, but when Romero fought that older fella, I think his name was Barroso or something like that. Barroso, I think his name was Barroso or something, right? And I thought that he lost that fight, and I'm like, well, I guess the fight with Gervonta Davis, you know, kind of did him in, right? And I don't remember if that fight had some type of catch weight or I don't know, right? Then he fought Isaac Cruz, and I thought that he would beat Isaac Cruz based on his size, and I just thought he fought the wrong fight because I don't think Isaac Cruz is good. Barroso, yeah, that's right. Salute, Charles. Thanks, Barroso. I don't think Pitbull is any good. I think he's just a typical pressure fighter. He's too small for 140. I just think it might have been a momentum thing with Rolly Romero because I really think he could beat Isaac Cruz if they had a rematch. Just got to fight the right fight because Isaac Cruz is coming forward. He's throwing one punch. We saw it when he fought that other kid who recently lost. Right? So I didn't really make a prediction for this fight. You know what I mean? Man, my thoughts is like when he fought Valenzuela, when people fought Valenzuela, I could tell that from that fight, like Pitbull is just he's overrated, right? So I didn't think much of it. So I was like, okay, well, Rolly Romero just lost to Pitbull, right? But maybe 140 isn't the right weight class for him. Maybe 147 is the right weight class for him. You know, a lot of these guys, yeah, they lose the weight to get down to a certain weight and then they rehydrate. And they rehydrate for health purposes, right? They rehydrate to a certain weight class, you know, to be healthy. But the more you train that over and over again, at some point your body is just going to get weak. That's just what happens. And I do believe that's what happened with Devin Haney, right? I do believe that constantly losing that weight, draining himself to the point where now he's not going to have any punching power at 140 or we're at 147, or I think tonight's fight was a catch weight. So I didn't really trip on Rolly that much, only saying to myself, well, I think he's a true welterweight, just like I do believe at best Ryan Garcia is a welterweight. Devin Haney, all these guys are welterweights, right? And even though they rehydrate past the 147 weight limit, at best, I'm just going to say that they're welterweights, right? Brawler, yeah, Pitbull's a brawler. At best, that they're welterweights. So I didn't make a prediction of this fight because the reason why I didn't make a prediction for this fight is because I am not a Ryan Garcia fan. I never was. I'm not into boxers who get popular off social media and not from what they do in the ring. So I've never been a fan of him. I always thought he was fast. For what it's worth, he's somewhat has a special type of speed, but there's still something lacking there. There's something missing, right? No one in boxing today has a faster left hook than Ryan Garcia. But what Ryan Garcia doesn't have, and he hasn't had, in my opinion, is someone to teach him to set the left hook up properly. Like someone like Tito Trinidad's left hook, Joe Frazier's left hook, Tommy Morrison's left hook, right? We could go further down, right? The way Floyd Patterson sets up his left hook. When you have a fighter that's with this much speed, you have to have the right trainer. And he has the type of speed that you just have to fix the knickknacks, fix the standing straight up, fix the posture of his chin up. Also, it's the heart. You have to have the heart, right? Now, I'm not one of the guys who say he quit against Tank Davis. I thought it was a good body shot. It was one of those reaction body shots. It wasn't like I'm planning on digging to the body. It was just, it was like you training with the mitts. It's a habit, right? You throw the 6 or 5 or 6 or whatever. I wasn't one of those guys who said that Ryan Garcia quit. It was a good body shot. And now I've seen people say that they felt like he quit. Okay, cool. But there's something there, right? So fast forward, he fights Devin Haney, and I've said this multiple times. They show highlights of Haney getting dropped, but they don't show the highlights of Haney and the punches that he landed. Because although Haney lost to a guy who clearly tested positive for banned substance, who clearly got suspended for a year, the fight was competitive. And I think that's the part that people forgot about. They forgot how competitive the fight was with Devin Haney and all the flaws Devin Haney made. Throwing the left jab, throwing his jab out there and dropping his right hand or pulling his right hand back. Even with those flaws, he still managed to make the fight competitive. So I'm still seeing flaws in Ryan Garcia. Because the fight, the amount of mistakes that Haney made, there should have been a stop. You could have stopped him, right? Tio showed tonight he would bust both their probably. Tio fought a good fighter, so I like that kid. So all the flaws and mistakes that Haney made at that catch weight that they fought at, he still didn't stop him. And then he test positive for banned substance. So for me, I'm more upset at the reception that fight received. I'm more upset that the guy who lost to a guy who got busted using banned substance was the one who got criticized, was the one who got clowned on. And we know who these fans are, right? I don't want to make this a race thing, but we know who the fans were, right? We know what Ryan Garcia's ethnicity is. So we don't need to go there. But for the most part, if it was Haney who got busted using banned substance, those same fans would condemn Devin Haney, right? Yeah, T.O. pitched it was a good fight. T.O.'s dope. I'm gonna make a video. T.O.'s dope. Hey, Charles, T.O. I always say T.O. reminds me, he's like not skill wise, attitude wise. He's like Roberto Duran. One day you'll get a super talented fighter, trained super hard, dedicated solely on beating his opponent. And then one day you get a lazy, don't feel like training, lazy training, who just gets in there and gets busted up by a guy named Claggett. T.O. needs to be the guy he was tonight at all times. So anyway, if Haney tested positive, they would condemn him. And I've seen videos, people that I know, people that I'm cool with, go to Google and they went to Google and they tried to become masters and get PhDs in Ostarine, and they all of a sudden they're overnight Ostarine experts, and all of a sudden they're into the lab of Snack. Oh well, Haney is with Snack. Conti, and we can't trust Vada. We can't trust Vada. But before, you guys wanted Floyd Mayweather to go to Vada testing. Now you can't trust Vada. All of a sudden, we don't trust Vada anymore. But before, you guys had all the trust in Vada because you wanted Floyd Mayweather to test. Because he went to USADA, because you know he wouldn't go to Vada, because Vada had xyloclane as a banned substance, but USADA didn't. But now, when it's Ryan Garcia testing with Vada, we don't trust Vada's testing. Let's go. Let's Google. Let me Google Ostarine and see what all you dudes out there, and I'm talking to you, dudes who I don't know, and the people that I'm cool with. And you know who you are, because you are the ones who Googled Ostarine. You know exactly. I'm talking to people like y'all. Y'all ashamed of yourself for defending Ryan Garcia, talking about he had a pinch and it's this and that. It's a dietary and it's for the no. Cut it out. Because Ryan Garcia lied and said he was taking ashwagandha. Okay? Ashwagandha is like a muscle relaxer. Ashwagandha is a natural testosterone booster because it helps you sleep. Okay? Because it lowers cortisol levels. All right? You wouldn't want to take ashwagandha when you got a fight coming up. You don't want to be relaxed. So I don't want to hear that talk about Ryan Garcia. I Googled Ostarine and let me go to this article, or let me cherry pick this article about Ostarine. No, if you test positive for a banned substance, you're cheating. I don't care what it is. And I don't care what it do. If it's on that banned list, it is a PED. So like when Floyd was taking them shots, allegedly, when he was taking them shots in his hands to make his hands numb so in case he breaks his hand in a fight, he can't feel it. That's a PED. And it was banned in Vada, but they okayed it in USADA. In the Las Vegas Athletic State Commission. So if that was Haney, y'all would have condemned him. So now we fast forward to this fight with Rolly. I didn't care much about it. Rolly, he headlined. Rolly is the seller of the fight. Ryan Garcia is the seller of the fight. Why is Ryan Garcia the seller of the fight? Because Golden Boy Promotions and DAZN and whoever look at the videos and they saw the comments and they saw how much praise and how much support Ryan Garcia was getting, that they headlined a cheater in an event like this. They headlined a cheater. Headlined an event over two former undisputed champions. I want y'all to let that sink in for a second. a boxer who tested positive, headlined on a card against two former undisputed champions. I don't want to debate on the T.O. thing. I understand the whole T.O. situation. No, he's not a real undisputed champion, but they titled him as undisputed, so he's undisputed. So I didn't care about this fight, and I don't pay for these fights. Okay? So I didn't trip on making a prediction of this fight. Fast forward to the fight. Ryan Garcia gets clipped. This goes back to the heart. He gets clipped, and now he's hesitant to throw his punches. Because now he's fighting a guy in there that this time Rolly Romero fought smart. He paced himself. He had his right hand glued to his right jaw, to the right side of his face. And ironically, he throws a double left hook and drops the guy who's the master, the best, quote unquote, left hook today. And he was hesitant. He didn't have the speed like I don't trust CompuBox. I'm not trusting I'm not trusting two or three dorks in their living room somewhere in their pajamas counting punches in the living room. So when the court cards went in, a unanimous decision is justified. Now, Rolly Romero is clearly a 147-pounder. I don't know how much of a threat he's going to be. That remains to be seen. But I'm pretty sure there's going to be some type of rematch on here. And if Rolly Romero fights the exact same fight, he'll win. You got to take Ryan Garcia's heart early. And Devin Haney doesn't have the power to take away Ryan Garcia's heart. So Ryan Garcia was more comfortable with throwing those shots. So in a rematch, if I'm training Devin Haney, I would train him to be smarter. Be the guy you was at 135. If you could do that with someone that's your size. Be the guy that you was. Fight smart. Don't fight this guy's fight. This isn't a street fight. Yes, it's entertainment, but sometimes you got to forget the fans. If I'm in there boxing a guy that got knockout power, for the fans, I'm not going to go toe-to-toe with them. I got to fight smart. You feel me? It spoke more to me how better in shape Rolly Romero looked than Ryan. It shows me how much more hungry and serious the training is. I agree with that, Blood Rush Entertainment. Anthony Robertson, it was outstanding. I knew Rolly was solid. He is more than that. Yeah, and listen, Rolly is strong. The guy is strong. The guy is like a champion in amateur judo or something. So he's physically strong. He got the power. He could be a threat at 147, especially, like I said, if he's comfortable at his weight. This is a testament of someone fighting in their true weight class and showing how good they really are, right? Like Charlo fought Canelo at 168. And when these two guys aren't fighting, when they're not in training mode, Charlo is actually the bigger man than Canelo. So when they fought, he fought in his true weight class, and it showed what type of fighter that he truly would be had he fought at 168 in his true weight class. Some of these guys, they have this there's this stigma out there, where fighter, Benavidez is a weight bully. Haney is a weight bully at 135. Fondora is a weight bully at 154. All of these guys are weight bullies. Canelo was a weight bully when he fought at 154. Canelo was a weight bully when he fought at 160. All of these guys are weight bullies. It's not just Benavidez. It's not just, Devin Haney or Richard Hitchinson. And listen, Keyshawn Davis is a clear welterweight. Clearly. Clear as day, that guy's a welterweight. That guy's a weight bully too, right? Like, no one today is fighting close to their weight. Not too many people. The last fighter to fight close to their weight would be like Triple G, fought close to his weight. Lomachenko fought close to his weight. Inouye fighting close to his weight. I know these guys are little, but like Bam Bam is fighting close. Like, these guys are fighting close to their weight. So most of these guys are all weight bullies. It's not just Benavidez. It's not just David Morrell. You know what I'm saying? Caleb Plant is like 190 on fight night. All of these guys are weight bullies. So what happened tonight was, before this fight, everyone was saying, Ryan Garcia is moving to 147. He's gonna be ready after he knock out Rolly. He's gonna be ready for Boots Ennis. Do you guys think he's ready for Boots Ennis now? I know that Boots Ennis don't fight like Rolly Romero, but Boots Ennis got way more tools in the tool shed than Rolly Romero. More power, faster hands, and bigger. I don't know. And not to mention, we still don't know if that left hook is dangerous at 147. We don't know. It still remains to be seen because we didn't see it tonight. We didn't see it tonight. Remember, these guys these guys both started out at 135. So they're just lightweights fighting each other at a higher weight class. They're not, quote unquote, of today's standards, a natural welterweight. So it still remains to be seen, what can Ryan Garcia do against a natural welterweight who walks around heavier than Rolly and then goes down to 147 and then balloons back up in weight on fight night. We don't know. Rolly kept fainting Ryan. He got confused. Yeah, Rolly was fighting really smart, and it showed. And I like what I saw. I like what I saw because, like in today's boxing, rarely do you see fainting. Rarely do you see fainting and capitalize on it. Rolly was capitalizing on it. It's not like when Madrimov was fighting Crawford and all he did was feint. Yeah, he had some successful rounds, but for the most part, he did a lot of feinting. You got to throw punches to win a fight. And listen, I don't know what's going on with Ryan Garcia and his training camp. I have no idea what's going on, but Derek James shouldn't be training someone like Ryan Garcia. I mean, he shouldn't. I don't think Derek James is fit for the way Ryan Garcia fights. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. When Derek James trains his fighters, they fight in a straight line and they throw 1-1-2, 1-1-2, 2-1, 1-1-2. Body, lunging body shot, 1-1-2. They fight in a straight line. You can't you need to be off center. You need to be off the center line. I mean, I with the style and the power, I feel like Ryan Garcia should have just stuck with who was training you. You know, I liked what's the guy name, man? I can't think of his name. I like Eddie Reynoso. Um, I like Eddie Reynoso. I think he should have stayed with him. Because you got to teach Ryan Garcia head movement if he's willing to learn. Boots Ennis doesn't have elite defense skills like Crawford does, and anything I'm seeing in Boots is getting more reckless over time. Yeah, he doesn't have the defense. I agree with that, but that also goes with the type of opponents he fights too, right? Like, the last few opponents that he fought, he fought Karen twice. He's not really a big puncher. Stanionis, he could punch, but the long layoff. I said it before. You're not going to beat Boots if you're not an active fighter. You have to be an active fighter. And Stanionis is a good win. He's a good fighter, but inactivity hurts all fighters. And listen, I don't care if you're cherry picking 10 opponents until you get to a championship fight. Activity is the key to being successful. And it's one of the reasons why Abdullah Mason is getting better. And yeah, he got dropped, and people are saying he's chinny, but people aren't talking about the way that fight ended after he got dropped, right? It's activity. The more activity, the more you fight, the more you learn. And you could cherry pick 5, 10 guys, and they could all have 10 different styles. And it's exactly what you need to prepare you for a good fight. Unless you're cherry picking a bunch of guys who just nothing. But I'm talking about cherry picking, okay, I'm going to fight this local guy over here. He has fast hands, but he's missing something, I can learn from him. I'm going to fight this guy. He has good power, but he's slow. That's how you learn. You fight different styles. I'm going to fight this guy. His record is, 9-4 and 3 losses, but he has really fast feet and really good foot movement. And the next fighter that I'm fighting, similar to his movement. That's how you learn. Activity. That's what hurts Stanionis. Inactivity. And maybe the year layoff is what hurt Ryan Garcia. Who knows? But I'm one of those guys who I get to say this, and a lot of fans get to say it. Without the PEDs, we could assume that this is what it looks like. Without the PEDs, when he fought Tank Davis, that's what it looks like. Okay? Now, like I said, I don't want to just go on in and just bash Ryan Garcia. Like I said, he's a talented fighter. I mean, he's fast and all that, but it's like you tested positive for banned substance. Yeah, it puts a monkey wrench. It puts an asterisk in your skills. It put in your wins. It makes me look back. I want to go back now, right? It makes me want to go back and say, well, were you? How long was you on this? When you fought, yeah, Luke Campbell wasn't the same, but Luke Campbell put you on your back, right? Put you on your back. You came out on top of that fight. You know what I'm saying? You come out on top of that fight. So, I don't know, but what I'm saying is, was tonight a testament of what it's like when you're not on the PEDs? You know what I'm saying? Ryan Garcia has zero defense. He's always has his chin up. Yeah, I said that earlier, that he puts his chin up. You know what I'm saying? He has his chin up. And he got Derek James as his trainer. There's nothing wrong with Derek James. He's an okay trainer. He's just the wrong trainer. He's just a wrong trainer for the fight. Listen, everyone saw the fight with Crawford and Spence. That fight should have been stopped. It should have been stopped. It shouldn't have ended the way it ended. You know when your fighter don't got it. You understand? First and foremost, that trainer is there to protect his fighter. If the fighter can't protect himself, now it's the trainer's is second in command. When it comes to that, first in command to stop the fight. I just think that Derek James is not the guy for Ryan Garcia. Also, I think that tonight is a testament of not having the PEDs, in my opinion. Tony's review, salute. Oh yeah, Tony, you know I'm 600. Hey, listen, I'm 621 in debates now. I didn't crush listen, man, everybody in the YouTube community is a cherry pick to me now. You know, I don't debate anybody. I salute Tony. You know, look at Conor Benn after he got off the PEDs. Has he knocked anybody out after? No. And I know if Eubank Jr. wasn't suffering from being weight drained, he probably would have knocked Conor. Oh yeah. First of all, that was a good fight. Second, you could tell that the weight drain hurt Eubank. It hurt him, but he was still skilled enough and big enough to beat Conor Benn, who they were banking on the weight drain. They was banking on can't weigh past 170 pounds of the morning of the fight. They was banking on all in a smaller ring, right? All of these things to benefit Conor Benn, right? The smaller ring so that the bigger guy can't fight off the back foot comfortably, right? So that with the smaller ring, the smaller guy could close the gap. And he still failed. 100% agree. Tonight is a testament of what Ostarine, when you don't have Ostarine in you, this is what happens. Okay? Contrary to what any of you guys out there believe, I don't care if it's 0.1 grams or milligrams of Ostarine in your system. If you test positive for a banned substance, you're a cheater. And tonight, that's what we saw. We saw a cheater who wasn't on bad substance get beat, get dropped, and was gun shy and was afraid to throw his shots. That's what we saw. No, Ryan Garcia will never have defense. Also, he can't box his way out of a paper bag. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, sometimes you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You know, at this point, there isn't much to teach him. He's going to always fight with his head up. He's going to always fight erect with his chin sticking up like he's, you know, looking up at the ceiling. And he's just going to always rely on the left hook. He's a guy that only has a left hook. He doesn't have nothing else, right? You take away Deontay Wilder's right hand, what does he have? What does he have? You know what I mean? You take away the fighter's best tools. What do they have? You get what I'm saying? When Larry Holmes fought Michael Spinks, and people like to say, oh, it was a robbery or whatever. I watched those fights. It wasn't a robbery, right? It was a robbery when Tim Witherspoon fought Larry Holmes. I thought that Tim Witherspoon won that fight. But when it comes to the Michael Spinks, what Michael Spinks did is he took away, same thing with Witherspoon. They took away Larry Holmes' best weapon, the jab. The jab. You take away Ryan Garcia's weapon, his best weapon, his left hook. He doesn't have anything. Tito Trinidad, when he fought Bernard Hopkins. I'm the one who made the video on the Bernard Hopkins as the fight for Devin Haney to watch. I said that before. All of these guys, all of these boxers, Professor Tim Bradley and all them. Go look at the receipts. I made the video first. I said, no, you need to go watch Bernard Hopkins fight Trinidad. And although Trinidad is not a natural middleweight, he was in there fighting a light heavyweight, super middleweight. Bernard Hopkins is a weight bully. That's the fight you watch. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Rolly Romero. He fought smart tonight. Hopefully, we see a rematch with Ryan Garcia and Rolly. Hopefully, we see Devin Haney fight Rolly. Hopefully, we see Devin Haney get his rematch with Ryan Garcia. And who knows? Maybe Ryan Garcia has Haney's number. And even without pads, he probably could beat Devin Haney, because it might be one of those situations where he just got his number, right? It's like Mayorga in Vernon Forrest. It's like Mosley in Winky Wright. It's like Jermaine Taylor and Bernard Hopkins. There's some fighters out there that just got your number. Doesn't mean that you're not a great fighter. Doesn't mean that you're not an ATG or a GOAT, whatever the situation is. There might be a guy that just have your number. That's it. That's how boxing works. It could be the most obscure opponent, and they'll have your number. That's how boxing is, right? I mean, we could go back in the 70s. The two biggest punchers, right? Ron Lyles and Ernie Shavers, both lose to Jerry Quarry. Both of them. Both of these guys lose to Jerry Quarry. Why? Because he got their number. That's just what it is. And maybe that's what Ryan Garcia is to Haney. But it remains to be seen, because we want to see this fight. I mean, I want to see all these guys mixing up. I'm old school. I want to see T.O. fight Ryan Garcia. Then I want to see T.O. fight Rolly Romero. And T.O. fight Haney. And Haney fight Rolly Romero. And Haney get his rematch with Ryan Garcia. That's what makes boxing great, when everyone is mixing it up. Forget the triangle theory. Forget all of that. Everyone got to mix it up. And if all of these guys mix it up, it'll bring boxing back. You feel me? It'll bring boxing back to what it used to be. You know what I'm saying? And I know that we got Ryan Garcia fanboys out there, the kind of fans who, you know, what they do is, what these Ryan Garcia fanboys do is they put on their knee pads first, right? So what they do is they get knee pads. They go in there in their trunk of their car, and then they get knee pads, right? Because what they're doing is they're preparing themselves so when they get on their knees to give Ryan Garcia a good one, right? You know, they get their jaws ready, right? So they don't want to mess their knees up. Right? They don't want to mess their knees up. So that's what these Ryan Garcia fans, not Ryan Garcia fans, not the fans. I'm talking about fanboys. There's a difference between fans and fanboys. The fanboys, they get on their knees and they give Ryan Garcia a Ostarine deposit. Okay? They make sure that they're pumping them up really good with the Ostarine while they're on their knees, because that's what Ryan Garcia fanboys do, right? But salute to Rolly Romero. He fought smart. He showed that, you know, contrary to what people believe, don't let them discourage you. People will say things to discourage you. People will bring you down and be negative. And he proved all these naysayers. He proved all these people wrong. And it was set up for Ryan Garcia to be the star of this event. He headlined Even though he tested positive for banned substance, he headlined over two former undisputed champions, and he failed. He failed. The cheater, the Ostarine user, the one who was suspended for a year, failed in beating Rolly Romero. Salute to Rolly Romero. This is the MOBC, my own boxing community. Please like, share, and subscribe. We are not biased here. We are not fanboys here. Please like, share, and subscribe. All right? Salute.